welcome back to
Bunso
Bunso Bites.
Bites.
I'm your host, Ami43.
And I'm your co-host, Siggy.
And it's my birthday week!
Yay!
Woo-woo! So this week was my birthday. I guess this will just count as our weekly check-in with each other and with everybody else. And I took off work, which was great. Just having a couple days off work.
And where'd you go?
I did take a trip with one of my good friends here, and we took we're in the Hampton Roads region, so we took an overnight trip technically, but it's really a day trip. We took an overnight trip to DC, and we did absolutely nothing touristy. We ate a lot of good food and did a little bit of shopping, just kind of retail therapy, and it was just fun hanging out because it was with another girl. Her birthday is the day before my birthday, so it was kind of like our little like birthday treat with each other. And it was a lot of fun. We're already, she's texting me today. We're already planning like the next trip, just like a just because trip. And then she was just like, "Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of assuming that you're okay with like, traveling with me." And I was like, "Absolutely." I was like, "I have 3-day weekends every other weekend. Let's go." I'm just like, I'm down. So we might visit another part of DC, or we might go to Outer Banks or something. Who knows? I want to go to Outer Banks this summer for sure. It is nice living in the Hampton Roads region. There's a lot of places you can go within, like, most of them are day trips, at most an overnight trip, and it's fairly, like, you can make it an affordable thing, and it's not difficult to do. Chiggy knows that I love traveling, and even though they're, like, little mini adventures, and it's not, like, going on, like, a big trip, I do still enjoy the being in new places, experiencing new foods or new people and experiences, so... Yeah, that's what I did, and it was a lot of fun.
So then, during your overnight trip to DC, what would be one food recommendation that you would give to our viewers?
Ooh, does it have to be from this trip, or can it just be like in general?
From this trip.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, actually, no, I do have one. So we were very intentional about where we wanted to go because we wanted to try like a bunch of different things, but obviously there's only so many times you could eat in a day, and I'll give 2 recommendations, and by 2 recommendations I feel like they're 2 different types of recommendations. The first one I'll give you is it's a bakery cafe situation, and I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's Tatte, Tatte, and it's a very like cute and aesthetic cafe. We got lattes, and we also got pastries, and it was really, really good. That was actually the day of my friend's birthday, and so it was just a lot of fun doing like a very aesthetic and vibey thing. And we both tried 2 different drinks and well, she got 3 pastries. I got 2 pastries. The bread is really, really good. And by the bread, I mean we both got a savory and a sweet option. And both times, like, the bread part of the pastry bread thing was, like, one of the best parts. So if that's in the DuPont Circle area, so slightly north, a little bit to the west-ish of National Mall, literally like where DuPont Circle is, you're just going straight down heading towards National Mall, and you'll pass by this cafe. And we went, it was a weekday, and I wouldn't say that it was like, it was busy enough where you know that the food is good, but it wasn't so busy that we were overwhelmed. Like, we weren't waiting in line for a long time or anything like that. And like I said, like, so I got a chai latte, and then we both ended up getting another coffee afterwards, and it was really, really good. And then the second recommendation, and this is by recommendation, I say this as like, trust your gut when you are looking, when you're looking for something to eat. So we got to DC a little bit early in the day, and then we had this really, really big meal at this restaurant that we ended up not 100% loving, but it was fine, and we were just like, okay. So we weren't hungry for dinner until it was a little bit later, and by the time it was later at night, right now in the East Coast, it's kind of like 30 and 20 degrees. It's very cold right now. So both of us were hungry, but we also wanted something comforting. And because it was getting late already, our options were limited. So we ended up going to a American restaurant slash bar slash something. They just serve like regular food. I don't know how to describe it. Like they have everything from sandwiches and burgers to pasta and whatever. And we both ordered pasta, and we both agreed that that was the best part or the best meal that we had. But it was again more of like, I think that's what we needed. We needed really warm and comforting food after we had a big meal, but we weren't satisfied with our big meal. And so we wanted something that was really like comforting. And so kind of going to, and to be fair, the restaurant we went to was themed. It was Alice in Wonderland themed. It's called, I don't even remember what it's called, like Wonder or something. I think it's called Wonderland or something like that. And again, in the DuPont Circle area. So if you're looking for and it's like, they just had Alice in Wonderland decorations on the wall, and it was really cute. But more than anything, she and I just really wanted something familiar and comforting. So we both got chicken parmesan, like super, super basic pasta, but it just tasted really, really good because we were so cold and we were so tired that we really wanted something comforting. And we both, like, we finished our plates, and it was really good. So
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I know you guys had driven up to DC.
Yes.
So that's at least a 3+ hour drive.
3 to 4 hours, yeah.
So being stuck in the car for that long, back and forth, what would you recommend to our viewers, something that you would listen to?
Bunso Bites is a great option. Sorry, I had to say it. This is a funny thing. So this is the first time I've traveled with this friend of mine. We are newer friends because she just moved to the area a year ago, less than. And we just kind of quickly caught on, and we like hanging out with each other. She's also a fellow Bunso, and I feel like Bunsos we just make the best of friends because we just get each other in a lot of ways. Obviously, I can be friends with anyone, but like there's a different kind of relationship, like fellow Bunsos. So when we got in the car, she offered to use her car, which was so generous of her. And so she was so funny because she had her GPS going, and then she was like, "Oh, I watched Bunso Bites, so I know you listen to K-pop." And I was like, I mean, I'm down to listen to whatever. So she just played K-pop on Spotify, and it was really interesting because all the K-pop on Spotify right now is really current K-pop.
Right.
And normally when you and I listen to K-pop in the car, it's 2015 K-pop. And so it was kind of like this weird, like, I don't want to say disconnect, but I was like, oh, I know all the songs because I listen to it when I'm like listening to my phone, or I like play it on my phone while I'm working or whatever. But listening to it in the car was a different experience. I was just like, oh, okay, this is, yeah, like it was all of IVE's new music, Stray Kids' new music, like, I mean, literally music that's come out within the last like 6 months. And so I was just like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. This is different. All of that to be said, we spent 90% of the car ride talking. So we were listening to K-pop, but it definitely wasn't a hard, like, it wasn't like we're only listening to K-pop. We were talking, and then in between our conversations, we'd like bust out into song for like 5 seconds and then go back to talking. But her, I mean, I don't know if she had a K-pop playlist or if she just looked up K-pop on Spotify. I'm assuming the latter because she didn't know all the music either. But it was fine. It was just really current K-pop music, and so it was just a different experience.
Cool.
If I were to recommend any, I mean, honestly, I always feel like it's always better to try to listen to more upbeat music. I don't know, because then you can stay awake. That's just how I see it. Versus if you listen to, don't get me wrong, vibey music is always going to be vibey. I can listen to a good lo-fi playlist for hours on end, but when I'm driving, it can make me sleepy. So I prefer, and it was enjoyable listening to kind of really up-to-date K-pop music.
I mean, if I was on that trip and I had to listen to something, of course it would be upbeat K-pop music.
Yeah.
But if it was not K-pop, I probably would have done something old school, something, some emo music. something like a dashboard confession or something.
Yeah.
And then just getting your feels and just
that's different though.
Let it just
let it out. Yeah. That's different because I feel like that kind of AV music, you're in your feels, but you're not like, and you're sad sometimes, but you're also screaming, so you're not sleepy.
Right.
I mean, like, and I'm thinking of like, you know, everything from a Paramore to Boys Like Girls, and I mean, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I do agree with that. I think I listened to that type of music and the OG AJ Raphael Red Roses the last time I took a road trip to DC, and again, it's just kind of that early YouTube days, like in your feels music, and you're just like not screaming but singing your feelings in the car, because when can you ever do that unless you're in the shower or in the car? So a road trip is a nice cathartic way to do that. I agree.
And so since you were out of town this, well, not past week, but this current
couple
week,
days, yeah.
I was here the entire time.
You were.
And so for my weekly check-in, here in the Hampton Roads region, we did get a bunch of snow.
Mm-hmm.
In some parts, there's, up to 11 inches.
A foot of snow.
I think an average would be at least 5 to 7.
Crazy. I want to. My coworker was saying the last time it snowed this crazy or like this much in the Hampton Roads region was 2010.
Yeah.
Which I was not here for that, so I have no idea. But also, that's an insanely long time ago, and that's crazy. But yeah, I came back to the snowstorm, which was lots of fun. Mm-hmm. Lots of panic trying to get everything together. And yeah. It's been a big adjustment, and by adjustment I mean I literally just went back to working in the office regularly, and then the storm happened, and now we're on kind of like an emergency telework because the weather is so bad.
Right.
But that's actually a really good transition, because I feel like on today's episode we really wanted to talk about our work life and our work culture.
Yes.
Both Chiggy and I are very boring, and we have very boring office jobs. And by boring office jobs, I mean just a very typical Monday through Friday. Not 9 to 5, technically. I work earlier. I work 6 to 3, and Chiggy works
7:30 to 4.
Yeah, so we like starting our day a little bit earlier, just because then you can get done earlier, theoretically speaking. Doesn't always happen. Chiggy and I are not foreign to late nights and overtime with work.
So again, with this current week,
you've had a week.
Yesterday I pulled overtime because we were working from home.
Yeah. And
I worked a total of 14 hours. So 6 hours of overtime. But it wasn't like I was falling asleep or anything. I was going at it for 14 hours straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some breaks, to get up and stretch, to grab a snack, take a dump. But, I mean, I was really just zoned in.
Yeah,
just
you were.
Going at it.
And, yeah, so, well, I guess on average, how often do you have to have late nights like that or work that much overtime?
Usually it's only during our peak season, which would be from August to December. Mm-hmm. But with this new administration, there's been a lot of tariffs that have been implemented for other countries, and so we are backdating all of our shipments that came in at a certain time that meet the criteria for this new tariff, and so those shipments are being charged a duty for those goods to come into the country.
Right. For context, Chiggy works in logistics and shipment and stuff like that. So with the new administration and all the new tariffs and law EOs that are coming out, it's been an adjustment, and I feel like you and your department are definitely trying to backdate all this stuff. I still can't believe you worked 14 hours the other day. That was crazy.
Yeah. So our topic for today would be work. Things about work, things you do at work, some pet peeves you have at work.
I got a couple.
So we're just going to deep dive into this and give our thoughts on it.
And just our experiences in general. As we said, we both work pretty typical office or like office setting type jobs. We both have the capacity and ability, situationally speaking, to telework as well. So, which is a nice perk. I was teleworking more regularly until more recently, as you said, with the new administration. So now I have to go into the office more frequently. And it's been a topic of discussion for Chiggy and I, where being back in the office more regularly and dealing with office culture, just being around people in general, not my favorite.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but for my work, my workspace, I have 3 screens.
Yep.
And it's all connected so that it flows from left to right as the one long desktop. And, you know, everyone has their own desk space, but there's no walls in between each employee.
Yes.
So it's open area for all employees. The only ones that do have a closed area are the managers. So they have their own office.
A designated office space, right.
And then they have their own door that they can close so if they wanted some silence. But they have glass walls so you can see into the office. But pretty much, you know, 8 hours in the day, it's all silent. The only things you can hear is mouse clicking, keyboard typing, phones ringing, people coughing, you know, stuff like that.
Do people not like talk?
I mean, when you have that much work to do, you barely have time to talk. I mean, you may have some people that are like desk side training with each other.
Oh, yeah. You've done that before.
Yeah, or some people that are on like a Teams call or something like that.
I never thought of that when you're... So do people not use headphones?
Oh, yeah, we use headphones.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, it's dead silent. So if someone is on a call, everyone in the office knows.
Very obvious. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that gives me such an ick. I hate that. I hate that so much. I mean, understandably so, in a sense of I've had the opportunity to visit Chiggy's office, and actually it is a newer office for his company. And just as he said, it's like, from my memory, about an L-shape-ish room, just one open space, and desks. There's not really... The most of a divide you would get is the way the screens are set up, but Chiggy's desk is next to another person's desk, and he sits by someone that he can reach over and actually... you can touch your co-desk mate, which is so ick to me, because that's not at all how my office is. My office is similar to your older office. Right. It's cubicles. And which, I mean, there's I say it's cubicles. I work in a very old building, and I mean, I'm pretty sure these cubicles are at least 15 to 20 years old. And by cubicle, it is a desk, normally an L-shaped desk, and you're normally connected to like one other desk. And then on top of your desks, you have not pull out, but like little shelf things that you can close. There are doors for it. And then you normally have at least one, if not 2 sets of drawers. And there's also like a couple of desks that are, they're reasonable accommodation desks. We have desks that have standing capacity. Not all of them do. Mine doesn't. But mine used to be a reasonable accommodation desk. So mine has room for an actual full-on wheelchair. I do not use a wheelchair. I just got assigned this desk very randomly in the last reshuffle of our office. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful. I have a lot of extra space. But it's also like, I don't really know what to do with it. I don't have 3 screens. I only have 2 in addition to my laptop. So if I wanted to open my laptop screen, that could be 3, but honestly, I'm fine with 2. If anything, 2 could be too many, especially if I'm hyper focusing on what I'm trying to do. And so we are the very typical cubicle setup. But in our building, if you are we have supervisors, not managers technically, but they actually have closed door offices, and it's not glass. So like they can have a room to themselves, and they can close the door and no one can bother them. Like it's pretty crazy. One of the things I don't like about my office, which I'm jealous of your office, is that if in my office, if you're not next to the window, you're not next to a window. I literally work when you go into my desk, it looks like I'm in a cave because I'm facing away from the window, and the corner that my desk's that like my screen faces, I'm straight up. My back is to the wall that has one side or one wall of the office that I'm in has windows, and that's it. And I'm facing away from it, and then the light above me doesn't work. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm just in my dark little like corner. Not my favorite setup, but I'm gonna bring in a table lamp, and I do have like a overlight desk underneath those shelves. So it's not terrible, but it is very cave-like. What is nice is because mine used to be an accessible desk, and I do have a lot more space, and since I'm facing a corner, when people come to bother me, it takes effort because it's not just they can stick their head in my cubicle. They actually have to like come into my cubicle and like get to like there's like I have some buffer space, which is nice. Because when I understand that like sometimes when you're in just like a regular cubicle, people could just stick their head in and like bother you, which I absolutely detest. One of the reasons why I don't like being in the office is how often you get bothered in person. I already get enough Teams pings. I don't want to get any more people just like trying to come into my desk and get answers or whatever. Most of the time they don't actually need me. They're just bored. Oh, and to speak to that, in my office, I would say that overall the vibe is quiet, but it's never silent like at your office.
Yeah, ours is drop dead silent. Like you could hear someone cough on the other side of the office.
Yeah.
Because it's that silent and it's that open. Like for me, other than doing my work and watching the screens,
yeah,
I do have my phone playing something, whether it be music, a podcast, a TV episode, something
series
that's on and playing in my ear.
Yeah.
And if I forget my headphones, I'm screwed for the day.
Your day is the worst day ever.
Yes.
I forgot my AirPods one time. I think it was last week, and I remember texting you. I was like, I can't believe I forgot it.
Yeah.
And it's the longest day. Like you're just, you need something to listen to. And even then, what I like anyways, the people that I work directly with, when they see me with my AirPods on, 9 times out of 10, they're very respectful, and they think, they wait to make sure like I'm not on the phone or anything, or I'm not in a Teams call or anything like that. And so I like having my headphones in because it kind of deters people from bothering me most of the time. Granted, there are times when obviously they do need to bother me, or they do need to ask a question about whatever case file. And it's just like, okay, but at least it kind of helps turn away people who are just trying to kill time or whatever. But so back to your actual desk setup. Do you have any accommodations on your desk? Do you have standing or a walking pad or anything like that?
So from our old office, we had an option if we wanted a standing desk, which I declined because back in our old office, I was working with 5 screens instead of 3.
I do remember that, yeah. I saw his setup. It's crazy.
And so I had 2 different computers that I would work with. And a standing desk could only hold up to 3 monitors.
Right.
And so the other computer, which only had 2 screens, would not be able to be accommodated on that standing desk. So I declined it.
Yeah.
However, in our new office, our standing desk, which is issued to every employee, is like 66 or 70 inches long of a table.
It's the actual desk.
Yeah, and the actual desk rises up electrically. The ones that we had in the old office, they were manual. So you had to actually unclip something, raise it up yourself, exert the effort, and then clip it back on.
It's not that much effort.
Yeah. Well,
but it's effort.
There's literally some employees that could not lift that standing desk in the old office.
Yeah.
So this one is a lot better. It's very fast compared to our standing desk here on set. It literally goes from sitting to standing in less than 3 seconds. And these can take up to
30
10
seconds. Yeah.
to get fully raised or fully seated,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. And then we also have ergonomic chairs. So it like contours to your back, and then it has lumbar support, and then you have the option of the seat to be able to recline or not.
Okay.
So those are all good.
Yeah.
I only wish that they also had like a leg rest, but I guess that's too much comfort because then people would start to fall asleep.
Right.
But that would be nice that you can actually put your legs up and rest while you're seated.
Yeah.
But for me, since we don't have those accommodations for that, I like to put my legs up though, and just like try to find whatever's there that I can put my legs on. And usually there's a row of electronic wiring that's like encased in a metal backing,
like a bar. Yeah.
and so I put my legs on that because that's what's in between yourself and the person across from you. So that is where I rest my legs on.
Are you allowed to bring in like a little poof?
I mean, there are people that do have those
Like a footrest.
little footrests. There's some people that use like those one-step stools.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just rest their feet on that. But I've never asked. If I were to actually bring in something to put my feet on, I would bring in my cubie, which is that the little elliptical for your feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that you can rest and or work out with. It is pretty silent, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people would just be distracted because I have the end desk where people walk through. And so
you are right on the path. Yeah.
And so people will definitely see me just moving my feet around and around as they walk through the office.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I guess that's something I could ask for as an accommodation. But I don't know. It's pretty heavy too.
Oh yeah, it is. There is a I've been looking at one. It's at IKEA, and it's a little kind of like a low coffee table height, and it's a little wicker. It's not a footstool, but it looks like one. And what's cool about it is that there's an opening on the side, so I can shove like my extra blankets and stuff. I have to work with like at least 1.5 blankets 90% of the time. And it's not even that I'm cold. I like having my legs wrapped, and I normally like having either my jacket or another blanket around my shoulders. And I just kind of like hunch in and do my work that way. I like being very, very comfortable. I work in an office mainly of women, and most of the time whenever people see me just like hunched at my desk, everyone's like, "Oh, you're so cute, Alyssa," and I'm just like, "Yep, don't bother me." Again, it's the body language of please do not talk to me or bother me, or like you could say hello but just let me do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to take care of. But yeah, the one I'm looking at is from IKEA, and like I said, I have a lot of extra room in my current desk setup, so I'm trying to like I'm gonna add a bunch of things. Like I want to add like coat hanger and a little carpet so that I've brought house slippers to my desk so I can take off my shoes and wear my little house slippers. Again, just for the sake of comfort. And this is not to say I'm trying to be unprofessional at work. Genuinely, I am a lot more productive when I'm comfortable, and because of how my desk is set up and the culture, at least at my work office, a lot of people are like that. Majority of us have blankets, if not heaters, and all sorts of things to be comfortable or to be at the correct temperature. A lot of people take off their shoes and just work in socks. A lot of people are it was also brought up recently. There was a lot of people still coming to the office kind of in pajamas, and they had to have a meeting about it recently. Well, not full on pajamas, but where people are kind of towing the line of maybe they're wearing sweatpants and a sweater instead of, me. I'm always whenever I go into the office, business casual, never a question. That's just how I was raised personally. My mother she's always dresses up. Doesn't matter what's happening. She puts on something to leave the house. She never leaves the house wearing, a pangbahai. So, what's a pangbahai in English? Like house clothes. Yeah, house clothes. My mom will always put on something before she leaves the house. And so I was raised with that. And whenever I go into the office, I'm always in at least business casual. If anyone sees me in jeans, they know either A, I'm having a bad day, or B, I lost weight because I could fit into jeans. So it's like I just don't wear jeans. I so rarely wear pants. So it's always a dress or a skirt for me.
Yeah, for us, we are always in business casual.
Mm-hmm.
For guys, we have the option of not to wear ties.
Okay, yeah.
And, for females, they have a wider variety of clothes that they can wear.
Yeah, yeah.
For us, we do have one day out of the month where we do a casual day.
You're casual Fridays, right?
Well, it's not usually Fridays, but it's just one day out of the month.
Okay.
For this past month, it was for the Super Bowl. And so we had
you wore a jersey, didn't you?
Yeah. And so we had a casual day where we can wear our favorite team's jersey, and then the potluck that they had was chili cook-off.
Ooh.
And so
that's fun.
That was like our themed casual day for that month.
Mm-hmm.
The month before, I don't know, I can't even remember, but it was just a random Friday. And just wear jeans and a shirt, something that's appropriate for work,
right?
Because I do have shirts that are not appropriate for work.
Oh, like some of your
some of my graphic tees are not appropriate.
Right. So have you ever actually, I don't know, have you ever worn a barong to work?
Yeah, I wear a barong to work every Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It was because you said no ties, and so I was like, oh, then you can wear a barong, because typically barong is the Filipino formal wear.
Mm-hmm.
But and I don't know how recent this is. I don't know how long you've had yours. There are I guess more Americanized versions of it where it's not made with the traditional coconut see-through thread.
Right.
It's made with just regular dress shirt material, or even like thicker cottons. Like you have some long sleeve ones that are thicker for winter months, I guess. So definitely more Americanized, but they're still considered a not formal, but a proper or an appropriate business casual type of wear.
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky only because when I do wear those types of shirts, I haven't actually been approached by any type of management saying that I have something improper in the office.
Yeah.
So I guess they do recognize that the type of dress wear that I'm wearing, especially the ones that I used to go to church with, is appropriate enough to go to work in.
They have collars though, so
they
I
do.
I feel like it, from far away, if you squint really hard, it looks like a collar shirt.
Yeah, the only difference is for barongs, you don't tuck them into your pants.
Right. It kind of is a little bit longer, not like necessarily covering all the way to your knees or anything. It's not a dress, but it does typically cover like the top portion of your pants.
Right.
And it has and it's cut straight across.
Correct.
Unlike collared shirts, which have tapers, or at least the collar shirts that are supposed to be tucked in are tapered. So yeah, I never thought of it like that, but I guess it's just because to us barong is common, so it didn't even register. But I mean I love it when you wear barong. I always think that you look very appropriate and proper.
Yes.
And pogy.
Thank you so much.
But anyways, so tying all that together though, how would you describe, or like not even describe, what is your favorite part and what is your least favorite part about your office culture? Oh, that's a face. That's a face, y'all.
That's a pretty deep question.
Oh, okay.
A favorite part about our office culture?
Yeah.
Ugh. There's not much.
Really?
Not much.
But we love your boss, though. Your boss is lovely.
Yeah. I will say, I guess the one favorite thing that does come out to mind is when we have our office gatherings.
Okay.
And so our last one, it was still business casual. Actually, it wasn't business casual. It was business formal. So we were supposed to wear suit and tie to our gathering. And, you know, they would have dinner catered. They would have raffles for games, or raffles where you can have games to win tickets for the raffle. And then there's 10 prizes that you can raffle off, which they've done consecutively for the past 3 to 5 years now, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't won anything ever.
For as long as you've worked there.
As long as I've worked there, I haven't won yet. And so that's one of the negative things. But, I mean, the last one that we went to, I think the food was really good.
It was.
They had games there, which were really, really good.
Yes. I participated in a game, guys. It was surreal. Yes. I am not one to participate. I'm normally either a coordinator or an audience member. And I don't even... Oh, because the MC tricked me. He said... So, Chiggy and I have been trying to win these raffles every year. And for whatever reason, we just never win. It's just not in the cards, so to speak. So the MC said, if you bring a chair up to the game area, I'll give you a ticket. And I was like, oh, we need more tickets because I'm ready to win this raffle. I'm so ready. Bring the chair up, and I'm trying to leave to get my ticket. And they're like, nope, you got to sit down. You're participating. And I was like, oh, I walked into that hard. I walked into that like a glass door at a coffee shop or something. Like, and I'm looking at Chiggy like, I need to get out of here. And I was like, you know, I might try the first round, but I literally made eye contact with Chiggy and I was like, this is a lot of people. And people were serious. They were rolling their sleeves up. Guys were taking off their ties. And here I am just like in my like cute little dress. And I'm like, not little dress. It was a T-length dress. But still, I was just like in my dress. And I was like, I'm not ready to run or do anything serious. But I think, didn't I ask you for my flats? Because I was wearing heels. And so I was like, just to be on the safe side, I motioned to Chiggy. I'm like, give me my flats because, you know, if it was a mixture of a musical chairs, bring me Simon Says situation. And so last one to do the task and sit down, you know, like if you're left out, just like in musical chairs, you're out. So I was like, I'll do it for the lulz with the full expectation of like round 2, maybe I'll get out. For some reason, I made it to round like 6 or 7. Like I made it pretty far in the game. I was in the top like 6. And when I tell you, I was stressed out the whole time. I also want to give props to Chiggy at this particular game. This is completely unrelated, but he fought for his life to give me, because one of the problems was to give a pair of shoes to some, like you have to get a pair of shoes from the audience, and Chiggy fought for his life because someone was trying to take another participant was trying to take his shoes, and he just kind of screamed out and threw his shoes in my general direction, and I got them and I sat down, which made me win that particular round. So it was great. But also this poor man was like on the floor fighting for his life over shoes, and I was like, wow, okay, this is serious. Yeah. Anyway, but so yeah, I really do enjoy your work get-togethers. I also feel like they're so accommodating in a sense of they have a wide variety of foods to cover dietary restrictions. You know, they have family friendly games, but then they also have things that are entertaining for adults. Like it's not ever, and there was always something like, there's always like a fun little twist with it. So like this last one, we were able to get a caricature done,
Yeah.
which was so cute. Shout out to, oh, I don't have her name right now, and I hope maybe we could find it and tag her. She's a local artist here in Hampton Roads, and she does caricature work. She was lovely, and she made us the cutest caricature. Straight up, Chiggy's caricature looks exactly like him, and it's the cutest little thing ever. So yeah, no, I really like that about your work, because I don't have that. At least not quite. So we had a get together like that, similar, the first year that I worked, and then the pandemic happened, and then we haven't had one since.
Wow.
To be fair, Chiggy's company is a for-profit company. I do not work for a for-profit company. So they have, you guys have profits. We do not. So our budget is solely donations and fundraisers and stuff like that. So we would do our get-togethers like that where they resulted in being all online. So like they would do raffles, but it would all be like spinning the circle thing online, or they would have games, but you're doing it online. So it's not quite the same as yours. But yeah, so that was your favorite thing. What is your least favorite thing?
Least favorite. Since we are a for-profit company,
Yeah.
it is recommended that, we always give our best.
Of course.
And, perform at our highest ability.
Mm-hmm.
And so with performing at the top 24/7, you burn out real easily.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of situations where you're overworked. And so, in a 40-hour work week, by the time I get to Thursday, I'm already like running low on sleep. And so, I will get to those times where I'm staring at the screen and I'm just slowly fading.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I need coffee. But then if I drink coffee, I know it's not going to help as much.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not quite the same as a full night's rest.
Yeah. So that is one way for me to stay awake. Another way for me to stay awake would be to stand and work, which does kind of help. It just hurts my feet when I do that.
For a long time, yeah.
But I've been getting more into actually standing and working, only because it does instantaneously wakes me up.
It forces
because,
literally your blood to move, yeah.
Yeah. It when I'm up and I am falling asleep, if I fall asleep, I'm going to crumble.
Oh no. So
like if I nod off, or if my body just so happens to just fall asleep, and like how like you see someone just standing and then they just if they like pass out, they go from standing straight down, but like it's kind of like they're going to dislocate like their knees or their legs.
It's like they fold over. Yeah.
When they fold over.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm falling asleep, standing up. And so if I do that, my body's shocked awake, because I don't want to be in that situation, because I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I've been on crutches many of times.
Yeah, that ain't fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only other way for me to wake up is to literally get up and walk away from my desk. Whether that be to get a drink of water, get some coffee, go to the bathroom, whatever. Just time away from the computer so that you're not focusing on work anymore.
You can reset almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do that at least every 2 hours. I try to do it every hour. I definitely stand every hour. Not even, so I used to wear an Apple Watch regularly, and then you would get that, there's a notification, it'll buzz you, be like, you've been sitting for too long. So you stand up. And so my body got used to that. Even when I stopped wearing the Apple Watch, I would, after an hour, I'm like feeling that like stiffness. I'm like, okay, let me just stand up. And in the office, I have one of my coworkers. She calls me out every time. She'll, at least every 2 to 3 hours, she will like drag me out of my desk and be like, let's take a lap, so that I can walk around the office and get a couple steps in, get my blood moving again. Like you said, stepping away from the screen and just not thinking about it for not even a minute. Like, how long does it take for you to do a lap around like 10 desks? Like, it's really not. But it's enough for your brain to just be like, okay, let me take a breather. Let me stop thinking about it for a second. And then when you get back to it, it really does. Not even that you're refocused, but you just kind of like, you've had a breather. So you're a little bit refreshed and you can kind of get back into it. A lot of the work that I do is very repetitious. And then I'm looking at, you know, the same thing, just a different version of it every 2 minutes, and then move on to the next one over and over and over again. And sometimes that repetition can get really, really mentally, not even draining, but like you just feel like your brain is dragging because you're just, I'm looking at the same thing over and over again. It's just a different version of it. And you're just, you know, which sometimes it's nice because you can hyperfixate and then you can just go and you get a bunch done. And then sometimes it's not that great, and trying to stay focused for that long is the absolute worst. But I am appreciative that I do have coworkers who are like, okay, Ami, time to get up. Like, let's take a lap. Like, let's get a breather. Here, get some water. Like, you know, they'll call me out because they know that, especially as someone who's like notoriously huddled and I'm like really into what I'm doing, it's really easy for me to lose track. But I do stand up every hour-ish, hour and a half, and I do take at least a lap or 2 laps every 2 or 3 hours. So try to get probably like 4 laps in the day, just kind of literally just going around the office and then back to my desk. And, you know, it's not 10,000 steps, but it's something, and it helps, especially when you feel like you're in a rut. But yeah, that's nice. So, what are your, I know we were talking about this earlier, but like, what are your specifically pet peeves when it comes to being in the office or that like office life?
So for me, when I go and use the bathroom, my pet peeve is people who don't know how to wash up after themselves or clean up after themselves.
Ew.
So this is going to be a little TMI, but this is my pet peeve. So when I go to the bathroom, and to give you some background, there are 3 floors to our building. My company takes up the 3rd floor with another company. And so there's only 2 companies on that top floor. The other company is significantly larger than us.
Okay.
So they're about maybe 65 to 70% of that 3rd floor, whereas we are the other 35 to 30%.
Yeah.
So our bathrooms, there's 3 stalls and there's 2 urinals.
Okay.
And in those 3 stalls, our doors are touching the floor, and it goes as high up as maybe 7.5 feet. It's a pretty long door.
Full coverage.
Yes, full coverage. So you can't see who's inside the bathroom, and you can't peek over it.
Right.
Which is very good because I know one of my friends always wanted that.
Yeah.
And so now he has it. However, at the top of that 7 or 8 feet, there is a little slit between that and the ceiling that you can see, or, you know, there's a little space in between for the next stall.
Okay.
So it's not like it's walls that completely cover you in your own little room, but it does make sure that, you know, you can't be seen from the outside.
Okay.
Now, for those people that use those bathrooms and they can't flush after themselves,
Ew.
is disgusting. So, whether it be, you know, urine or feces,
Ew.
it could just be floating there in the toilet.
No.
Right?
No. Too
So,
much
for those
detail.
people that
That's
don't know
gross.
how to flush after yourselves, you need to do better.
Yeah.
And then those that can't clean up after themselves either. So say if you do make a mess in the bathroom,
Yeah.
they don't have the decency to wipe up after themselves.
Ew. That's
So, like,
gross.
For us, because the guys, they pee standing up, there's urine all over the toilet. They don't wipe up after themselves. So that is my pet peeve. Like, y'all disgusting.
Yeah. And it's just kind of, I mean, common human decency.
It
You would
is.
think, oh, that's so gross. And that's why we don't like public bathrooms in general. But oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
I mean, there's a lot more to that. I'm just gonna keep it to that, though.
Yeah, no. So I feel that. And I mean, I think just general hygiene in an office setting, sometimes I feel like people, I guess the nice way of saying it is maybe they forget, or they're being negligent and they're not thinking about it. But you really have to be cognizant of the fact that, like in your case, you have only 3 stalls on your floor or whatever. I know for me, in my whole office building, there's one bathroom that has 3 stalls, and then one bathroom that has 6 stalls, probably. I don't know the exact, 6 or 7. And for the most part, it's fine. I've probably seen maybe someone used too much toilet paper, so not all the toilet paper flushed all the way. But I haven't seen anything like full on disgusting like what you were describing. So I'm grateful for that, at least for me, that I haven't seen anything like that. But at least, and I know for me, even when I'm like washing my hands, I like to wipe down the sink area to make sure that I didn't splash water, like, because the soap dispenser, sometimes it's like away, so like you lift your hands and then your hands are dripping from the sink to the soap dispenser. Me personally, I wipe that up because I don't want there to be water stains or to like have that like that like sitting water smell that you can get sometimes. So I wipe that up, me personally. But I like to think that that's the nice thing to do. I don't know. Any other pet peeves do you have?
Oh yeah. This is more on the lighter side. Because our work building is like a green building.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a green building, so it's like trying to save on resources. Like the entire building is on electric.
Okay.
So when you go to the bathrooms, other than the actual door, the sinks to wash your hands, the toilets that flush the toilets, and the towel dispensers.
Oh,
All of those are electric.
You mean like sensors?
Yeah, all
Okay.
those are electric. They're not battery powered. They're electric.
Okay.
And so there was one time I was using the bathroom and we lost power. Thankfully,
no.
I was done doing my business and I had to wash my hands.
Yeah.
And so I was in the bathroom. Of course, the lights are out. They don't have backup lights, so it's pitch black in there.
There's no like emergency lights?
Nope.
I feel like that's a safety hazard.
Nope,
Especially in
there
the
are none.
bathroom. But okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to wash my hands. So I pull out my phone. I find where you're supposed to stick your hand under, and nothing came out.
Because there's no power.
There's no power.
Oh, no.
So I couldn't wash my hands. I couldn't get any paper towels. And I'm pretty sure the toilets don't even flush because it's on a sensor. But
I feel like there should be like a generator or something for like backup power.
I don't know. I never tried.
That's crazy.
But that's the one time where the powers went out, and it was a pet peeve of mine because I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that doesn't, again, and also just the idea of not having like a backup light as an, like, how like when airplanes lose power, oh, the lights will turn on the aisles, like stuff like that. I feel like most places have that, or like just some kind of, even if it's just like one light next to the door so that you know the direction you need to go in. Again, for safety, like if there was a fire or if there was something happening, an earthquake, a natural disaster, and you lose power, but like you need to evacuate, like, I don't know. Maybe I think the worst of things, which I do, but still, I feel like that's just a safety feature that's just a safety thing that you should have in a building. I know for us, we don't have like actually no, we do. When I got kicked out of the office one time where the power went out, but it's almost like a spotlight. They have them in different parts of the office, and it's attached to an alarm. So like if there's a fire, the alarm will go off. In this case, no alarm. The emergency light just turned on. But again, it's a light enough so that I can get my things together and like walk out of the door without tripping in pitch black. Like that just seems like a safety hazard. Like it seems dangerous to me. But okay, I mean, wow, that is unfortunate too, because you couldn't flush. I'm assuming you just hand sanitized your way out of that situation, but still, it's horrible.
No. I was able to go to the sink in our office, and that one, it was a handle that you could turn on and turn off.
Oh, like the kitchen sink, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I washed my hands there, and then we had our own paper towels out, so just used all that.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that they didn't think of that. I don't know. That's how I see it, but okay. Wow.
I know I've been talking about my pet peeves in the office. Mm-hmm. What are your pet peeves?
I think really, truly, hyper specifically, it's the people who, and I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about my cubicle situation, it's the people who come by my desk, and please don't get me wrong, if people come by my desk because they have a question or a lot of the work that I do, collaboration and discussion is beneficial. However, there are people who they take that benefit that we have of working together in an office, and instead of actually collaborating or discussing things, they just use that time to talk, and then they just drag you on. And I mean, I've had people like sit with me for over an hour, and I'm just trying to like sit at my desk and keep working. One of the reasons why I liked working from home is because if anyone wanted to bother me, they had to do it on Teams or they had to call my phone, and not everyone was doing that. But at my desk, I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm nice. I used to have a candy tray at my desk, but I did that because I like having treats, and I like sharing that wealth or whatever. And I don't mind people, swinging by to grab a treat or, and just say hi to me or just whatever. Again, and if people have questions, that's, if they want to discuss something, that's one thing. But for them to, like, come by and then they're just kind of dawdling around and then they want to talk, and then it's kind of like, okay, I have work to do. Thank you so much for your time. And Chicky can tell you I'm the worst at shutting people down, and so it's not like I can.
Yeah, you can't.
I do not have the ability to, like, I don't have the ability to tell someone, okay, you gotta go. So I just kind of sit there and grin and bear it and try to work while they keep, bothering me.
Yeah. Unlike you, I have no shame. If I have work to do and someone's like wasting their time trying to talk to me, I can literally focus on the screen, do my work, and kind of pay attention to what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Where I'm just like, and I feel like I'm like, can't you tell my body language is telling you to go because I'm working on this thing or I'm trying to do this thing?
Right.
But they just like talking to me and telling me about all their problems, and I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And again, like, don't get me wrong, I love having positive interpersonal relationships with my coworkers. Like 100%, I feel like being friendly with your coworkers is a positive thing, especially, like I said, in my work. It does behoove you to collaborate and discuss. There's a lot of interpretation in my work, so to say. And so discussing that with other people is really eye-opening and beneficial, and you can get a lot of insight in a really great way. And so having a positive interpersonal relationship and being friendly with your coworkers is a good thing. It's when people can't take a hint and you're just like, okay, like, we're done. Like, I'm sure you have 10 other things to do. Let me do, my thing. And I'm just really I'm bad at saying it out loud. I think I really do try to body language, like, okay, I'm typing and working away and I'm focusing on my work and just kind of half listening to you.
Yeah. For me, like, if I need to go to someone else's desk and talk to them about something, for me to wrap it up and let them know that I'm about to leave, I always ask them, do you have any questions? Do you need anything else? And that will be my ending.
Yeah.
And then if someone's approaching me at my desk,
right,
and I want them to leave, I literally just focus on the screen and just type away. and just not pay attention. Do not make eye contact. Just ignore them.
Just, I'm only looking at my computer screen.
Yeah. That will give them the idea that, hey, I need to go now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I just have too nice of a face. I don't know.
You are too nice.
I'm not. I don't want to be mean. And again, I have, like I said, I do have a lot of. I don't even want to call them like friends. I do have a lot of positive relationships at my work, and I'm very fortunate that I, for the most part, work with very, very nice people. Work with very, very nice people. And another thing is, I'm not the youngest in my office, but I am in the younger bracket, so to speak, by not being married, not having kids, not having big adult life problems, I guess. And so everyone likes to baby me and be like, "Oh, Ami, you're so sweet and you're so cute, and wait until you're married and this is that and the other." And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get back to work now because I'm an adult. Bye. I definitely get the I try to think about it in a positive way where my coworkers are just trying to be nice and look out for me, but I definitely get the vibe of a lot of the women that I work with are older than me, and they look at me and I'm just this young ingenue of a girl, even though I'm not, but to them I am. And so I just try to be. Also, I fully believe that because I grew up in the South, or I grew up a good portion of my life in the South, and I'm just naturally, like, I grew up knowing how to be polite, they think that I'm just this sweet young thing, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, well, I did do the whole, I led all those, like, cooking tutorials and stuff like that, so I guess I just look like this wholesome goody too. I don't know. I just try not to bother too many people with my work and stuff, and I just try to do what I gotta do. So but a lot of people think that I'm just this sweet person. Like, okay, it's not that I'm not sweet, but I feel like they think that I'm this saccharinely sweet person, and I'm just not. I'm just a normal person, I feel like, and then I think they hyperbolize it in their brain because they just see me as this young person who's like, she's doing so well for herself. It's like, okay, thanks, grandma. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Cool story, bro. Again, I'm not even the youngest in our office. It's just people perceive me that way. Okay.
Well, I got something for you.
Oh.
And then I'll share this with the viewers as well.
Sure.
If you guys have or are in an office setting and you want someone to walk away or end the conversation because, you know, you're being bothered or something, try this.
Okay.
I know that you have a bunch of people that are on your teams.
Yes.
That you can just ping real quick and they'll, you know, answer back real quick. So for me, I have one person.
Yeah.
And so most of the time, he's not there at their desk.
Okay.
But when they are, you should set up like a code word with that person.
Oh,
right? And just be like, oh, if I say, I don't know, martial arts.
Yeah. Keyword, yeah.
Our keyword's martial arts. I need you to call me on Teams after that keyword.
You see that, yeah.
And so, you know, when this person comes up to your desk and they're talking to you and they're just talking your ear off and you need them to go away, type in martial arts.
Yeah.
And then they're going to call you on Teams. And then they're going to see that someone's calling you on Teams.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have a call. I'll let you go.
Yes. There you go. Pick up the call.
Wait, that's
so
funny. Thank you for
appreciate
saving me.
you.
Yeah. Thanks for the save, bro. That's crazy. That's actually really smart. And I say that because what I have done in the past is I will, because most of the time, even if someone's sitting next to me, they're not looking at my screen. And I work with a team that is across multiple time zones. So I get pinged at any hour of the day, like it can be crazy sometimes. I'll get pinged so many times, not even for necessarily emergencies. It's just people checking in, people doing this, and because we're all in different time zones, it's all up in the air. And I have a couple times where I get the ping, and then I'll tell the person, I'm so sorry, I have to call this person back. They just asked for, I need to help them with something. And then they'll go. I have done that before. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of having a call person, so to speak. Just be like, keyword or code word, and just give you a call. Save me. That's actually really smart. I should do that. That's really smart. I like that idea a lot. That'd be really fun. I wonder who I could set it up with. I'm trying to think now. I'm like, who do I know that I could? I mean, there is one person, but she's on the West Coast, so I feel like that would only work in the afternoon for me. But it would help. It's better than not having anything, I suppose. Yep. That's really fun. Do you actually do, like, you've done that before?
I have not done that to anybody. But I have asked the person, at work, hey, can I call you on Teams real quick to test something out?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so you'd call me on Teams, and then we'd be on a call, and then be like, what you need? I was like, oh, I just need to check something out on Teams, like, for one of my settings, whatever. And he'd be like, all right, cool. And then, we won't say anything, and then I'll be like, all right, cool, thanks. Yeah. And that's it.
Oh, okay. I mean, that works too. Teams is a finicky program, so it's my favorite program in the world. Hearing that Teams call jingle just brings me so much joy.
Right?
And it's unfortunate because I hear it sometimes on yours, and the trauma of it, I'm like, oh gosh. I hear the call noise. I'm like, who's calling me right now? But yeah, that was, wow, we talked a lot about how we don't like a lot of things at work. But that's not to, Chiggy and I I want to be very transparent. We are very fortunate and grateful that we have the jobs that we have. Yep. They're not perfect by any means, clearly, but we are fortunate that, because Chiggy and I for the longest time didn't have very nice jobs, and so when we did get these jobs, it was a big shift and a big change for us in a positive way, and we are very grateful for these jobs, despite the everyday nuisances, so to speak. But despite all of that, I know that it's not necessarily our dream jobs, but I also feel like in different ways our jobs are very complementary to our strengths. Chiggy is such a math whiz, and him working with numbers and Excel sheets and I mean, truly the capacity that he has to dissect a ridiculous amount of information in such a short amount of time is amazing. And I've seen him do it. I've seen him do his job, and I'm just like, I could do it, but I could never do it at the capacity that Chiggy does it at. And I am I like to read a lot, and my job is reading a lot. So I think there is we were fortunate that we were able to both get into careers that play to our strengths, and so it has helped us be successful in our own independent ways, and we are very grateful for our jobs. So I just want to make that very clear, despite all the trash talking we're doing right now with our work. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts, Chiggy?
I mean, no job is perfect. Every job has its ups, has its downs. You're gonna love it at times. You're gonna hate it at other times. So it just so happened that this episode we really focused on the bad parts. So
the things that we love so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts down below. As she was saying before, do you guys work in an office setting? If you do you guys run into similar problems, or what other problems do you guys have? If you don't work in an office job, because we actually do have a lot of friends who work medical, retail, different types of jobs, what pet peeves do you guys run into? Are they any different from what we run into? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.